I like this shirt, right? No, that's like Alexa, turn it down to 0. Yeah, good morning, and welcome to Maiyegun's Diary today on YouTube, on Facebook. I believe everyone is. Let me even check the volume. Yeah, I think we are good. Welcome to Maiyegun's Diary today. The same truth that many of them are so scared to talk about is the same truth. Truth that I believe many of them are now standing up to speak about. We will ask questions. You see, Nigeria of old, the Nigeria they have been trying to manage for some time now. It's so fake that the beneficiaries, those who are benefiting from it, are so scared. They are so scared they are so scared of everyone trying to ask a question. So that is why they said, don't ask questions, don't say anything, stop talking. In fact, you just need to keep quiet, just shut up. Unfortunately, those who want us to shut up, they are actually the humble slaves, the obedient fools, those who have succeeded in submitting themselves to the whims and caprices of those criminals they call leaders. I am not your friend, and I'm going to tell you something this morning. It is important I start with this because the topic that I want to treat this morning is so important to any conversation we want to have about dismantling Nigeria. We will dismantle Nigeria. Some of us will live to see that day that Nigeria will divide. It's going to divide. I'll tell you why you should be preparing too as a Yoruba man. You should be preparing. The reason why Nigeria should break up is because it's not working for you. It's working for those rich criminals you call political leaders. And until you separate yourselves from them, you will never, ever understand why Yorubaland is not working. And that's why I'm going to say this morning. I'm a Yoruba man, a very, very blue-blooded, red-blooded Yoruba man. That is what I was raised to be. An Ijebu man, a very proud Ijebu man. And for years, myself and millions of my life have been deceived to believe that until you put on that green, white, green, you have no identity. They make you and me to relegate our identity and put forward a fake identity. That is why there has been no headway for 60 years. Many of you are preparing because they are telling you that they are going to give a presidency to Yoruba. You are mad. You are mad not because you know that you are mad. You are mad because we know that you are completely mad. If you are not, do you know that in Nigeria history, 60 years of Nigeria history, Obasanjo alone, Obasanjo, the one that is still there today, Obasanjo alone ruled Nigeria for 11 years of Nigeria 60 years. So which means for that 11 years of Obasanjo, look at Yorubaland. I will come back to that later. I'm a Yoruba man. And in Yorubaland, a typical Yoruba man, Omoluwabi, Omo tí wọ́n ti inú ìwà bí, olóòótọ́, olódodo, an honest and a person with real integrity you can trace, not a cloud chasing or bought integrity. They call them today, those you see today, they call Yoruba leaders, Yoruba political criminals, that you see today parading themselves as leaders in Yorubaland. They are called 21st century Awoists. 21st century Awoists. They will tell you about socialism. Meanwhile, they are all of them. They are what? They are a bunch of capitalists who are also so greedy and selfish. Not to the people they told that they are communists. They always love to preach communism. We'll give you free this, we'll give you free that, we'll give you this, we will give you job, we'll create 1 million job, we'll do this and that, all the lies, right? We will make sure that your children are fed in school. They are communist policies that these criminal capitalists in Yoruba land who are building themselves empires, they are promising poor people that they will build them schools, free hospitals, they will build them good roads, they will make them feel secure. They will build industries that are going to serve their different communities in Yoruba land. They will build electricity for 60 years. The latest one, the last 20 years, the 21st century Awoist. They are criminals who will adorn Awo's cap. They will make you believe that everything, whoever wear this cap is representing Awolowo. They are called 21st century Awoist. They are fraudsters. I'm a Yoruba man. We don't celebrate thieves until these criminals came. In Yoruba land, let me tell you about our culture. For those who know us very well, and for those who manage to read that, and there are not those Indomie generation who are reading these thugs who have written different, these fake lies about who they are to the same people they are deceiving. These criminals. We read the real history of Yoruba land. We know our culture. Culture is a practice that differentiates you from others. If you have a barbaric culture, if you have a stealing culture, if you have a looting culture, if you have a killing culture, if you have a destructive culture, my brother, if you have that tendency, do not rub it on the entire race. I'm a Yoruba man, and we are not thieves until these criminals came. Until politicians became their mouthpiece. Until musicians became their mouthpiece, singing their praises to the poor, ignorant population who will always look forward to want to be like them. They want to be like them. They want to be like them. Everybody wants to be like Thiefnubu. But in Yoruba land, we are not meant to celebrate thieves. We are not meant to celebrate benevolent dictators. We are not meant to celebrate criminals. What do you have in Yoruba land today? Benevolent dictators. Baba Sokwe. It doesn't matter if you are a terrible person. If you have no clean record of anything, as long as Baba Sokwe, you will be the leader of the Mumu kingdom. And that is exactly what they are practicing in Yoruba land now. That is not Yoruba. That is not us. And some of you Yoruba are slicker. Some of you that they have destroyed your self-esteem. Some of you that they have destroyed you economically. Some of you that they have deliberately miseducated. Some of you that they have deliberately, intentionally, poorly educated. You see them as role models. You see thieves as role models. And you stand up to bring Yoruba culture into that. And then start saying, in our culture, we don't insult elders. Are you mad? Yes, you are. In Yoruba land, we don't insult elders. And in court, we have elders, and we have leaders, and we have dealers. You see the crop of those you have in Yoruba land right now. 90% of them are criminals. And I will say it anytime, anywhere. To their faces. In Yoruba land, the most powerful person, the most untouchable person in Yoruba land culture is a crowned king. In Yoruba land, we believe that a crowned king is next to the gods, which means a king cannot go wrong as long as he is the representative of the gods. In Yoruba land, the ritual that will make you a king will scare you enough never to lose that kingship. But that was then. That was then. In Yoruba land, as powerful as a king was in our history, in our culture, in our tradition, if a king they say king don't rape, Abi. If a king should be linked to an illegal killing of any citizen, a king, So, person that they told us that we must not look at you in Yorubaland, you are not allowed to question a king. It's like questioning the gods. But do you know that as respectable, as respected, as revered as that texts are in Yorubaland, we also have a culture that says anybody, whoever that has cleared all the rituals and became a king next to God, if he violates this, do you know what Yoruba says to them? To such kings, they will tell him to go and kill himself, and they will give him 7 days. Imagine people who agree that our kings are untouchable, our kings are mouthpiece of God, our kings are respected, and that culture, these bastards, these omualis, because they have money now, the money they stole from you. I'm coming to how they stole it from you and how they have ruined you. And the more you continue to stand up on those false narratives, because it's completely false. Yorubas don't celebrate thieves. Yorubas are not meant to celebrate criminals. You are not, we are not meant to hobnob with thieves. We are not. It doesn't matter. It may be an old thief. It may be a young thief. A thief is a thief. So what happened? Yoruba will tell a king to go and kill himself for doing something wrong. The same culture that says a king cannot go wrong. That is Yoruba for you. Yoruba has a saying that if a thief is dressed in gold cloth, a thief drives the most expensive car, a thief flying the most expensive plane, a thief buying the whole land, Yoruba says no matter what a thief has, he is still a thief. Because all those things should be considered as stolen. But what do we have in Yoruba land today? Ass lickers, political Ushers, criminals, lazy, low intelligent people who are more interested in what and where the next meal is going to come from. They are not interested in what tomorrow holds or doesn't hold. And these criminals have succeeded. They rub it on our faces. Look at them. They use something. It is called political correctness. Are you with me? We have religious correctness. We have political correctness. Political correctness is when they tell you that you are right. We understand what you are saying. In fact, you make sense. But I just don't like the way you are saying it. You can pass your message without calling anybody idiot, without calling anybody fool. It is a blackmail. Do not fall for it. You see those who are dropping such messages, they are as good as those slaves who will tell you, go and fuck off. But they try to use political correctness. They will use your culture. If you tell them a pastor raped a girl, they will tell you to shut up. It is called religious correctness, correctness, political correctness, religious correctness. Those who use those political correctness will tell you, we have to respect elders. Ask them. Some of them will tell you that you lack home training. If you are trained well at home by your parents, you will never be insulting Thiefnubu. You will never be insulting Oshiomole. You will never be insulting Bokwari. If you are trained well by your parents, you will never, ever be insulting all these criminals. They are criminals. Bunch of criminals. E Buhari din, Buhari didn't. E Buhari did not to, or Buhari did just. E Buhari shuku, ungoziari, unnekahari. An obedient fool, an humble slave, and a sophisticated moron. We tell you, you lack home training for telling a lifeless Buhari that he is lifeless. For asking them to condemn a thief who has become an empire of rogue in Yoruba land, that they are now looking forward to make the president over their own slave land. They will tell you, don't you have elders at home? Whenever they do that, whenever they did ask you that question, right, it is very simple. Just reply them with, what kind of training did Thiefnubu receive from his father? What type of training did Thiefnubu receive from his mother? What type of training did all the past governors or the present governors in Yorubaland, what type of training did they receive from their fathers and mothers? What type of training did Aregbemubo receive from his mother? What type of training did Aregbemubo receive from his father? Boda Isiaka, former constituted authority of Oyo State. What type of training did he receive from his father? What type of training did he receive from his mother? That they looted and looted and looted and stole and until they left nothing. So if anyone asks you that stupid question, don't you have elders at home? Simply because you are calling thieves their real names in Yorubaland, tell them, who is Obasanjo's father? Who is Obasanjo's mother? What type of training did they give him that he could convert Operation Feed the Nation, established with Nigerian money, only for him to turn it around after 3 years in office, to change it to Obasanjo Farms Nigeria Limited, OFN, Operation Feed the Nation, of OFN, Obasanjo Farm Nigeria Limited, OFN. Look at that. Is that the training he received from his own father? To steal from you? What kind of training did Goodluck Jonathan receive from his father and his mother? What kind of training did all the looters receive from their fathers and their mothers, that they came to disgrace their family name only for you slaves to be offended because people are talking about them? The question you should ask them is, what type of training did the parent of those criminals in charge of Nigeria, what type of training did their own parents give them? To become thieves? To become killers? To become manipulators? And to become your slave masters? How proud are you? You must be very proud. Yorubaland is a land of great, great, great people. But just like the rest of Nigeria, Yorubaland is cursed with bastards who answer Yoruba. They stand everywhere and say they are Yoruba, but everything they stand for is against the land they came from. Cursed Afonjas of Yorubaland. They are in PDP, they are in APC, they are in, they're everywhere. The land is meant to be great. The land of Yorubaland is meant to be great. But what did they do? They plundered it. They shared it and left you with nothing. Nigeria is not working. And from this moment on, the most messages you'll be seeing on social media is going to be about Yorubas pursuing their own ethnic agenda again. Just the same way it was done before 1957. They buried it. We will unearth it. We will tell you how it's done. We will expose those criminals who, you may not understand. There were those who were against Yoruba self-rule in 1957. There were those, and they were Yorubas. So there are those who are currently, whether knowingly or unknowingly, that are benefiting from the project Nigeria to keep Yorubaland poor. Okay? Keep us poor and keep the best brain of Yorubaland outside the country. It is called Leori Adesita. The best brains that should make Yorubaland great are now doing greater things outside Yorubaland. Do you know what happened? Because they made you, as a Yoruba person, they made you to relegate your identity and pick up a fake identity, a fake green, white, green identity. Now, if I'm walking around like this, would you know who I am? How many of you will know who is walking? Would you be able to tell this is the person who is walking? This is how all Nigerians are walking. All of you telling yourself that you are Nigerians. This is how you are walking about all over the world. No identity, no nothing. Trying to make up something to make you feel better. That is what they did to you. We were supposed to be first in everything, because we've always been first in most of these things when this contraption was being put together. In 1957, before 1957, the dream was to give you a Yoruba man today, that identity that will give you that pride. Even if they say you are, it's just like the UK. If they say you are from the UK, doesn't mean that there's a UK. What is United Kingdom? There are countries within the United Kingdom, and every country has their own identity. That was what we would have called if those criminals who are currently in charge, benefiting from that rotten system, will never give to you. And this is why you should. Look at Lagos State. Let's use Lagos State. Then let's use my own state, Ogun State, because of its proximity to Lagos, very close. For 20 years, I remember one time I was thinking about why are things not working? Why is it so? Why is it that I don't even care about Nigeria. I don't give a fuck about Nigeria anyway. I've never really given a fuck about Nigeria. I've always been very much interested in why is it so difficult for 20 years for Yorubas who speak the same language, 6 governors, 6 states who speak the same language. They hear themselves. They are Yorubas. They all claim Oduduwa. They say they are Oduduwa. Whenever it favors them, whenever it doesn't favor them, they shout they are Nigerians. For 20 years, there was no clear-cut plan that they wanted to make Yorubaland better, that they care for Yorubaland. They care for Nigeria more than they care for the Yorubaland and the Yoruba people that elected them and gave them the opportunity. I was wondering, how is it so difficult for Yoruba governors to come together and build a 21st century society out of the ramshackle of a contraption called Nigeria? How difficult is that for Ogun, Oyo, Lagos, Ekiti, Osun, where else? Come together and build the fastest rail network that will connect all Yoruba land. Would the Hausa Fulani or the federal government of Nigeria stop us from doing that? Would they? Then I remember, oh, stop it, Maiyegun. Stop deceiving yourself too. They will not do it. They are part of the whole rotten system. They are benefiting from it. And you don't need to go to anywhere. Don't make things up on your head, Maiyegun. Just look at Lagos State. They started the metro rail since 1999 when Thiefnubu became their governor. And for 20 years, after spending over 500 billion naira, 500 billion, not 500 million, 500 billion to link Lagos State alone, so that a train will leave Lagos Island and it will go down to Badagry. And then, for 20 years, the frames are there. 500 billion. Where is the money? Did Hausa Fulani steal the money? I realized I wasn't Hausa Fulani that stole the money. It was stolen by Yoruba leaders, Yoruba representatives, the people you call your leaders. Then I went to my own state. They said, how is it so difficult to start planting in Yorubaland? We were so rich simply because we were farming. There was no oil. There was no all of this. Even tax then was so little. Yorubas could farm. We went farming when there was no mechanized farming, when there was no period where you could actually clear about 100,000 acres of land. I mean, oh dear. And plant to feed Yoruba people for 20 years. Those who claim to be Yoruba leaders in Yorubaland, they starve Yorubas. They starve our people. They made our people poorer. They made agriculture something that became so scientific that you have to probably go to mass to study. Our farmers in Yorubaland, there are people we call the Agbe, Aladanla. Let me use my own type of English to translate that. Agbe, Aladanla means a farmer with, let me see, a farmer with the strongest and the biggest cutlass, machete. Let me use that because I don't know what the English should be. However, it is just our own recognition and acknowledgement of how hardworking, how diligent, how consistent, and how reliable our farmers are in Yorubaland. For 20 years, there is no clear-cut any plan in place that says, oh, yeah, they spent this on our farmer, and so far so good. Yorubaland now has the biggest, the most reliable, and the most affordable farm produce in the world. Can we not do that? Of course we can, but they won't do it. You know why? They are building themselves offshore mansions. They are building themselves estates, luxurious estates on the sea, while the people they steal the money from will never ever smell those places. They are Yorubas, they are not Hausas, they are not Igbos, they are not Biafrans, those who stole the money. In Ogun State, there was a time that one scam artist was reigning supreme in Ogun State. His name is Ibikunle Amosun. Ibikunle Amosun was everything you can describe as a complete package of fraud. And he had so much enablers that were telling people, imagine, you are suffering, you have no job, living in Ogun State, struggling through life, living through the hell that these criminals have created for you in Yorubaland, in Ogun State. Then all of a sudden, you see some lunatics, they pay 10,000 naira to, 20,000 naira to, telling you that it is your fault if you can't see that government is helping you. How is the government helping you? Amosun came out and he said he was going to make Ogun State the biggest producer of rice in Nigeria. You know, so many of them have told you that their state is either producing this, when they take pictures, you know, and when they go to one farm and they manage to get maybe 100 bags of whatever they are producing, they will take pictures. The governor will go there. They will say, Abia State can feed Nigeria now. Ogun State can feed Nigeria now. We are now food. We should stop importation of food. We can now feed the whole Nigeria. Yet 120 million Nigerians go to bed every night without food. No joke. Where is the food? Amosun said he was going to feed Nigeria. That was just a few years ago, just about 2 years ago. And you know what they did? They said they wanted to do rice pyramid. For those of you who know about a pyramid, groundnut pyramid in the north back then, cocoa pyramid in the south back then, Baba, they were bags of the grains put together to mount those mountainous pyramids. You know, when Amosun, the scam artist, wanted to do his own pyramid in Ogun State, he hired carpenters. They bought planks, wood, they cut them into pieces. They now built a house, like pyramid, a house. Then they started bagging sawdust into the bag of rice, branded as Micros rice, Ogun State rice. Nobody saw them in the farm where they planted the rice. We didn't see any farm. We didn't see when they started the harvest. We didn't see when they started the processing of the rice. We didn't see where they bagged the rice. All of a sudden, Amosun constructed a giant wood and they mounted sawdust underneath it. They put, mix it up with rice they imported from Thailand. And Amosun stood in front of it to address the people of Ogun State that this is my achievement. From now on, you will no longer suffer from buying rice. You will begin to buy rice, cheap rice in Ogun State. You will begin to eat well. Meanwhile, his own children are eating rice imported from London because they are British. This wasn't done by an Hausa Fulani man. It was done by the criminals you call leaders. Benga Daniel in Ogun State too. Benga Daniel looted our money, killed many of us. Those they could kill, those they could send to exile were sent to exile. Benga Daniel was also a benevolent dictator in Yorubaland. What do? The benevolent dictators? Let me tell you how they work. They parade themselves as those who represent our value. They are given chieftaincy titles by the political obas that they installed when they were in office. They do all of this to rubbish our tradition, to rubbish our culture, and to stamp everything on its head, and they dare us to do our worst because they have people they are paying. That is why you call them benevolent dictators in Yorubaland. They will tell you who is going to be senator. They will tell you who is going to be House of Rep member. They will choose who is going to be your governor. They will choose who is going to go and take their stupid federal appointment that they have been taking forever, feeding fat on. But they will never, ever, ever see a reason why a Yoruba land in 21st century that has no 24 hours electricity, but still blaming it on the federal government of Nigeria or blaming it on Nigeria. But they are so foolish to stay back. So that's what I'm asking. Are the Yoruba leaders foolish or they are just selfish? In Lagos State, when you see when you go to Apapa Wharf, go to Apapa, go to Tinkan, you will see Yoruba sons and daughters taking a living in the most horrible way that you can ever think of. You see what they did, the Yoruba criminal leaders, those ones that you want to defend all the time. They destroyed education. Awolowo brought education in a very unique way, and it was well accepted. And the result was fantastic. You see, the moment these criminals had the chance, you know what they did? They bombed the bridge, and they began sending bombs into those education built by Awolowo, and they destroy it. Today, go to Apapa, you will see a graduate. He's a tout. He will tell you he works in Apapa, but he's a tout. They call them port rats, port tout. When you look at them, many of them are Yorubas. Yoruba sons and daughters are touts, are port rats in their own land, on their own land. And the criminals in charge are very much comfortable with that. You are comfortable with that, aren't you? Go to Apapa right now. They are there. They watch all those Hausas, all those Fulanis come down to the south. Come on, guys. Come on. They have made, when you talk about it, you are a tribalist. Some of them are already calling me tribalist. They are calling me tribalist because I am not saying anything against them. Dan, why do you think it is normal for us to be living in poverty? And what could make our own people rich and wealthy? Wealth redistribution, recreation, all these things are being managed by people that have no stake in Yorubaland. Many of them have never lived in Yorubaland. They were sent down to manage the businesses for them in Yorubaland. While Yoruba sons and daughters are roaming, go to the airport. When you come out of the airport, you will see you'll see Yoruba sons and daughters hanging about the airport, trying to help you carry your bag. Not because they are trying to be nice, but because that is their own hustle in their own land. I don't know how comfortable that is to you. It is not for me. It is not. Every political office holder in Yoruba land from May 29, 1999, every Yoruba son or daughter who has held any political office in the last 20 years, watching me right now, shame on you. Shame on you. You have nothing to be proud of. And if your argument is Yoruba should continue to stay within Nigeria because we are supposed to be together, again, shame on you. 20 years, guys, 20 years. Many of them were brought up from the ramshackle of poverty. They had nothing. The moment they joined politics, they became richer than the land. that gave them the opportunity. And they looked back, they say, Yoruba must remain like that. Shame on you. I am not a rich guy, but what I've got for myself here, what I've managed to get for myself in the UK would only be a dream for me in Yorubaland. A dream. They are not big, they're just this. A house to stay, a job to care for my family and myself, a security, a good security for myself and my household. That is all that is needed. That is all I got here. Just that. But in Yorubaland, there must be either Obasanjo, Daniel, Amosun, Makinde, maybe now Makinde, Thiefnubu, as your second name for you to be able to walk anywhere in Nigeria and feel like you are a Nigerian. Yes. If you are a Thiefnubu son, why won't you feel like Nigeria is good? Nigeria is good. If you are working for them and they are paying you this stipend, of course Nigeria is good. If you ask me right now, right, how is UK? I'll say UK is good. I've got a good job. I've got my own house. Now I've got my own car. I can go anywhere I want, when I want. Life is good. How many of my age mates, how many of you who are of my age, by the way, I am 36 years old. I'm 36. Now, how many of you 36 years old right now can say the same thing I just said now? And you are in Yorubaland right now. If I was with you, I don't think I'll be able to. Or maybe if I'm smart in the Yoruba definition of being smart, if I'm smart, that is if I'm able to steal from you, maybe I may live better life a bit. But how many of you, 36 years old, 30, 35, 40, can say what I just said now, confidently? There are those who can, there are many who can't. Why? Because those who are supposed to make you feel included, feel part of it, have absconded from you long time ago, but you have no clue. That is why you continue to defend them. They deliberately, intentionally impoverish the Yoruba land. Let's leave Nigeria for now. Those who speak the same language like me and you, they understand that we need to educate our children if we want to have a better future. They didn't. They are hiring our young children right now. They are hiring them as thugs. They are encouraging our young children to take violence as the only way out of poverty. And many of them are now joining cultism for no other reason, just because they believe once you have that, you are secure. In Nigeria, you will survive only if you are violent. You may not know. When you see a murderer, a thug being celebrated, a thug like MC Oluomo, a thug like, thugs like all those Agberos in Lagos that all the musicians are praising, singing their praises, making you feel like, wow, I never knew that. You know what I mean? I'm guilty too, because I listen to Saheed Osupa all the time. And Saheed Osupa praises all these thugs too. So I'm guilty. But I'm telling you that when you see all these signs, there are generations looking at them and feeling like whoever he is. In fact, so many of them believe that you can go and make money first. After, you can hire a teacher to teach you. It doesn't matter. That mentality was brought to us by these criminals in charge of Yorubaland right now. An average Yoruba man always strives to want to what? To get education, want to be independent. They want to see the world. Check it out. Today, they are recruiting them as aristos, oloshos, agberos, buying guns for the young, brilliant mind that should be looking forward to be aspiring to make a Yoruba land a great place. Now everybody now has a price. They do. And I'm going to say this again. You see those who are going to attack you because of Oduduwa Republic campaign, or those who are going to come for you and abuse you because of your stand on Oduduwa Republic, do not fret. Okay, do not fret. Until Nnamdi Kanu was arrested, I personally, always took it after those those who come after anyone who says anything about Biafra. And you know me, I talk freely. I do my own thing, my own way. So at that early stage, I was considered a complete enemy, and so many Biafrans were coming for me back then. But today, there are so many Yorubas. I believe personally that I have even convinced more Yorubas more to see through all the lies the politicians in Nigeria are telling you about Biafrans. I have brought more positivity to their campaign. You know why? Because with time, we will all know better. Those who are coming after you because of Oduduwa Republic today, with time, they will join you soon. The conversation on the streets from now on is going to be about, since Nigeria cannot work, let us break it down. Guess what? The conversation is already ongoing. So do not fret, do not feel bad about it. Continue pushing, because that is the only solution. The only solution is break everything down. Make everybody take their own country. You see those Yoruba thieves, they will no longer have the MENA backing. They will no longer have the Buratai army. They will no longer have all those. We will start afresh in Yorubaland. And guess what? New leaders will emerge. For those of you who are afraid that, are they not the same people that will lead you? Forget that. Let the journey start. If you see any of these criminals who make it to that level to become relevant in a new Yoruba Republic, right? Many of you will agree that they deserve it. New leaders will emerge. People will rise. And guess what? They will rise in largest number you've never seen before. And you see all these criminals with money and their thugs, they will disappear. Ask those criminals of yesterday. We all make it look like it's going to be forever. Where's Lamidi Adedibu? There were those who said Ibadan will never know peace until Adedibu died. Adedibu died. Ibadan exists. There have been so many like that in the history. What the fuck is Thiefnubu? And it's not your fault. It is the number they've managed, they've succeeded in placing on you. But there are those that will rise now. We will rise. We will use, some of you are so stupid too. I'm talking about those of you Abobaku of Lagos. 1,000 naira recharge card miscreant, Facebook adsmen, or social media bandits. Abobaku of Lagos. Let me tell you this. When the time comes, you will fizzle out. You will fizzle out. You can scream, you can do all of that. All those they gave gun to in Lagos, all those they gave gun to in Yorubaland, they will fizzle out. When the people are ready. When are the people going to be ready? You don't worry. Don't. So I want to check something. So they deliberately. So if Yoruba leader says, I'm using this now, this Yoruba criminals, those criminal Yoruba leaders, yeah? If they say the reason why we can't have electricity is because we need permission from Abuja, and if we do this and that deal, the reason why we cannot build our own refinery in Yorubaland and extract our own oil in Yorubaland, extract our own liquid natural gas in Yorubaland, build our own best rail network and all of that. If the criminals there, the thieves who are there today, parading themselves as your leader, if they believe that Nigeria is the reason why we are unable to do all of that, what is their reason for staying? Why do they have to keep you in poverty, in darkness, terrible road, insecurity? Today, Fulani men, they have surrounded Yorubaland. They are, from the investigation when Amotekun was being put together, they said the Fulani men in Yorubaland, in our bushes right now, they have occupied over 7,000 locations in Yorubaland, in our bushes. People who got kidnapped on the motorway, Old Ife Road, those who survived came out to say they were marched into the jungle. Thousands, I mean, let's say hundreds of miles into the jungle, where they saw people kept in chains by Fulani herdsmen who kidnapped them from the highway and bring them into the bush, in Yorubaland bush. And you can sit down there and be writing nonsense with your phone simply because you feel like, why are you attacking Thiefnubu? You are mad. And I've been saying it. I wish I could actually, if there's no social distancing, I wish I could administer something on you and get you well. Thiefnubu came out and he was asking you, where are the cows? A complete drug addict, a complete lunatic, a drug addict. He came out in Yorubaland. They just killed the daughter of a Yoruba leader. Afenifere, they call themselves. A Yoruba leader who was supposed to be a Yoruba leader. They just killed their daughter. Thiefnubu, a drug addict, got there and he was asking the press, where are the cows? Where are the cows? So you as a Yoruba person, don't wait till you become a victim. Because you see those lunatics you call leaders, they give no hood and they will use every opportunity they can get, right, to milk from your misery. They will. Poverty, insecurity, poverty, limited opportunity for just limited number of people. And you think that is actually what you call a country? That can't be a country. It can't. We're walking around, we're driving around Lagos when I was in Lagos just some times ago. And I was telling myself that if I hadn't left this country, probably I wouldn't see anything wrong in the way they are running Lagos. Because it's like every Lagosian believes that it is just a normal thing to live a hard life. That if you want to survive in Lagos, you must live a hard life. So they shield the criminals they are paying to make sure their life is easy or easier. So we're driving around Lagos. And I was like, oh boy, 20 years. How long does it take to rebuild a city? How long does it take to replan and rebuild a city? At least to say it's an ongoing thing. And my friend was telling me that they will never build this. Even people know that they will never build it and they will continue to vote for them. Why? Why? To remain part of Nigeria? So that they will continue to make their own money at your own expense? Come on. I don't think everyone will agree with that. I don't agree with that. And there are so many reasonable, intelligent Yorubas that have contacted me too. And I've seen many of them out there. When they have the opportunity to begin to have conversation, trust me, Nigeria is going to break. Now, what you should be worried about is this. I don't care any manner of break. If you want to break into 20 countries, fine. As long as we Yorubas, we can get our own country and we can deal with the thieves within. I don't care. But one thing is that Nigeria is going to break. It will break, and what you should be worried about is what type of breakup is Nigeria going to have. We were telling them about, we said restructure. This system is slavery. This system that keep over 50 million people to agree to something that is not working for them. Yoruba people were being forced to agree to something that is not working for you. It's not working. Restructure. They killed so many people because of it. Babangida killed those he could kill. Abacha killed those he could kill. Obasanjo came, he killed those he could kill. This Bukwari came and he's killing those he can kill now. So is your mission to get killed for Nigeria? Is that your dream? Get kidnapped as a Nigerian? I don't think that's a good dream for anybody. It shouldn't be. Break it up. The pressure, the heat will blind 2023 election. For some of you programmed mumus, the Buhari Danes and the Buhari Dideris, And your uncles and aunties, your premium Buhari did in abroad, your uncles and aunties abroad, the Mumuma does, the Bele lecturers, and the Mumu lecturers. There is nothing you can do. We will do everything to ensure that break up. We overshadow whatever plan you have for 2023. People are interested. As you're having a conversation, we will be discussing how to break up Nigeria. As you are trying to force us to talk about 2023, we will be forcing you to join us to break up Nigeria. And guess what? It is in your interest. You may not like it. If you are fighting for one Nigeria, you know who you are fighting for? You are fighting for your slave masters who are benefiting from the project Nigeria. It is a lie. They told you. They told your parents. They told their own parents. They told the ones before them. You are about to tell your children that Nigeria is a country. It is a lie. It doesn't exist. Be more proud in your tribe. If you are an Hausa Fulani, don't feel ashamed. Okay? As you have terrorists as your leaders, and many of you are also terrorists. You are terror sympathizers. We know that. Okay? But doesn't mean that all of you are. But many of you are terrorists too. You are terror sympathizers. Your leaders are terrorists. From the south, our leaders are southern terrorists. They terrorize us economically. Now they are even terrorizing us physically now. If you see anything, they will kidnap you and your family. So they are not really different. In our own case, as many of you are terror sympathizers in the north, Hausa Fulani, terrorists. As you are terror sympathizers, because of your religion mostly, or because of your political association, we have the Alimajiris in the south too. You know, from the north, they are beginning to import Alimajiris. They said they are Alimajiri since I get to this live, Baba, since they born me. I never seen adult Alimajiri before. So they are bringing terrorists to the south. They are bringing terrorists to the south. And the Buwaridins and the Buwari Didenis, the Buwari Dinotus, the Buwari Dijatus, the Ngoziaris, the Unnekaaris, and the Buwari Shukus, the Abobaku of Lagos, the obedient fools, the humbled slaves, and the sophisticated morons are welcoming them with open arms. Importing Alimajiri, importing terrorists to terrorize everybody. And I've told you, Buhari is the one that will break up Nigeria, not Maiyegun, not Nnamdi Kanu. Those who are smart will know. Buhari will help break up Nigeria. You can struggle, you can fight, you can mourn, you can cry, you can wail, you can groan, you can scream. It doesn't matter. Buhari will break up Nigeria because Nigeria is we are already broken. Okay, let's be honest with ourselves. If you put one Mumadu from Sokoto and you put him down, you put one Abobaku from Lagos, and you pick one what do you call it? Buhari Shuku from Imo. Put them together. They will sing the same thing that will tell you that Nigeria is not one. We are divided. Never been divided. Buhari made it happen. All that we are waiting for right now is to make it happen physically. As you are sitting there, now so you go read the news. There is a meeting. We are breaking up and it's going to happen. But you know, one thing is this. Because your slave masters made you believe that everything is violence. Violence. We will kill. Who is going to fight? Are you going to bring your family to fight? You are just a madman. Nobody is going to fight you. Okay? Waiting will destroy Nigeria. You will join us when that will happen. And you may not even know you are doing it. You will join. You will help us join the army to destroy it. And there will not be any gunshot. Their soldiers, their police, they will protect you on the street when you will break up that Nigeria. So don't rush. Nobody's going to shoot anything. Your leaders are those who want to kill you. They will kill you because they don't expect you to speak up. But guess what? Nobody will be available for them to kill. Nigeria will be destroyed. It's already been destroyed. It will be broken into pieces. And Buhari will be the dividing angel. And it has been 3 more years. Trust me, you will no longer recognize Nigeria. in 3 more years, you will no longer know, oh boy, is this same Nigeria? Ha! How did the things get to this? You will see. At that point, you will begin to tell yourself that, oh boy, I don't think this country, I think I'm going to support those who want us to break up. You will join us. Because I was like you. I thought the problem was the leadership. Then I realized that the problem is everybody. Until you are tired, you will finally see this voice of reason that tells you, join us, join us, no, we'll stone all this bastard, no, we'll catapult them from their houses, so they should never come back to anywhere near us again. Let them run away to their friends and everywhere they have taken our money. In Yorubaland, when that time come, OMC Oluomo will pick up his, he's a smart guy too. He will pick up his American passport. He will run away. That's when you will know that, touts get levels. Before now, they call them Eruku. Now, you know what they call them? They are Eruwo. They don't want to die. That's when you will realize that. You see all this, your keypad warrior, your keypad this and that. Ask al-Bashir in Sudan. Buhari cannot be as mad as al-Bashir. Al-Bashir was there for more than 21 years. When it was time for al-Bashir to go, even though their revolution was hijacked, but when it was time for al-Bashir to go, his 21 years loyal army couldn't protect him. So Buhari is just, it's not yet time. You will do it. You will. In 3 years' time, you will be the champion for Biafra struggle. You will be the champion for Oduduwa Republic. And guess what? You see those terrorists from the north, they can keep Nigeria. Keep the country. If you love it, keep it. If you cannot be bold enough to join others, to condemn those terrorists who are killing you, your leaders are the terrorists, they are killing you. But you will never, ever find any fault in that. But you are looking for those who are telling you that break it up and you can keep your Boko Haram. So you are angry because I said that. I'm a tribalist for saying that, Abi. But your leaders who are busy making money from your blood, from your death, they are still your leaders, aren't they? They love you. You are mad with your leaders. Terrorist sympathizers. Terror sympathizers. When you sympathize with terror, you are a terrorist. When the Nigerian army turned to terrorism was the day they moved their battalion to the east because they wanted to kill Nnamdi Kanu. Only terrorists does that. People holding flag. How can you justify that? People holding flag, saying Biafra or dead, Biafra or dead, and you carry weapon. Your soldiers, you took them. You took your soldiers to go and kill, and you did kill. We saw how they treated those that were supposed to be Nigerians. Let's say Nigeria disagree that they are not Biafrans. Fine. Is that how to treat Nigerians? Is that not how they are treating you? Even if you are not a Biafran, is that not how they are treating you? Soldiers beat you up. Dress you naked. Beat you up like you are nobody. And nobody to report to. Is that not how they treat you? They are the terrorists. Nigerian army is now the top terrorist organization in the world. You will know about it later. When you pay terrorists, when you free terrorists who have killed your people, and you are continually telling us that you have made the right decision, you are a terror enabler. Nigerian army, Nigerian military is enabling terrorism because they are feeding, they are feeding fat from it. And who are those in charge of Nigerian military? Northerners. So when I call you terrorists, stop defending them. Join us to call them that terrorists. Because you know who they are unleashing the terror on? You living in the north. I don't live in the north. And I don't want to see Yorubaland turn to another Borno. And with the way they are working in Nigeria, with the way Nigeria is going, many places will turn to Borno very soon. And it's not going to be because Maiyegun says so. It's because your politicians are working on it. They will turn everywhere to Borno. Imagine it. Imagine if they turn Ibadan to Borno. Imagine it for a minute. That our people begin to live in IDP camp. simply because some people are killing them and there's nothing you can do. And your leaders will tell you to go and pray. Do you want to wait for that? Ask Benue people. They will tell you that with all the atrocities or all the killings they have faced in the hands of these terrorists, in their widest imagination, they will never believe that they will face the same thing in democracy. And the worst people who have been killed most in Nigeria today, in any part of Nigeria today, those who have been killed were killed under democracy, not under military. Hundreds of thousands of Nigerians killed needlessly. They were killed under democracy, not under military. God, why can't you see that? How is that so difficult for you to see? Why do you want to continue to be part of that? When you can chart a new course in a new way without you being stupid and then being dragged by political correctness. Do you want to wait till you get kidnapped? Do you want to wait till you get killed by a SAS officer? What is it that is so difficult that makes you so cringy, so angry when they talk about breaking up of Nigeria? Of what interest is this, or is it to you? It's a common sense question. When you defend it, you are defending the beneficiaries. Are you a beneficiary? If your answer is no, then you're just stupid. You're just being stupid. No apology. How can you live with that? How does that make any sense? How is it so difficult to explain or to understand? If they love you, if they love the place as they claim, it shouldn't be that bad. We are not saying they should build you El Dorado overnight. 20 solid years is enough for Omoko, the Omoluabi Ile Yoruba, to turn Yorubaland to a better place than what it is right now. And none of this failure can be attached to any Fulani or to any Igbo people. It was done by Yorubas. Your former governors are Yorubas. Your former senators are Yorubas. Your former commissioner, they are Yorubas. The country they left for you, the Yorubaland they left for us, is where you are currently living. Is that a worthy place to stay? It is, or is it? So when you want to talk, do not let anybody deceive you into saying to yourself that they are trying. Trying about what? About impoverishing you. They have, you know what they have been doing? Those past criminals in Yorubaland who are now walking about as elder statesmen, they'll say, this one is their meeting. They are discussing the Yoruba progress. They are mad people. I'm not part of that. I won't be, in any way, I won't be cajoled into believing those career criminals for 20 years. The Yorubaland they built is what you're saying so. Muritala Muhammad Airport in Yorubaland. Muritala Muhammad Airport. They gave a killer, a murderous criminal, a genocidal criminal. Muritala Muhammad. They gave him airport, international airport in Yorubaland. Show it to the world. Muritala, the killer, the genocidal thug, a criminal that should be burning in hell. Here is his airport, international airport, and you are claiming, you are complaining that Muritala Muhammad International Airport is not working. How can it work? You put the name of a killer, celebrating him. You go about spending the money they put his face on. What are you doing? You are validating the genocidal crime he committed because his friends, his other criminal friends are still in charge, so they can make him look holy. If Buhari, maybe by the time they declare Buhari dead, then they will print money for him too. And you can spend Buhari money and call yourself a Nigerian. I'm a Nigerian. You're just being stupid. You don't know yet, but you will know. With time, you would. My point is not to make you happy. My point is just to make you think. If it is not working, fix it. If you can't fix it, change it. They have tried to fix it for 60 years. It is still not working. Let's break it up and see if it won't work. I'll see you some other time. Good morning. Alexa. Alexa, turn it up to 7. Everybody money. Since you don't look at your head, we're not tired to complain. I see the part where you be. Nothing I keep that into you. 97% of 5%. Don't be like president. Who Nigeria with sentiment? Take your office to revenge. Why now? We did beg you. Make Nigeria no more for your head. Yes, sir. After the election, when they do. Still I went to see the change you. Sorry, promise when they make. They don't be like saying I fake you. Wealthy money, wealthy food. Nigeria people only food. But since you don't let yourself fail,